Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
Hello, it is JP Murray. 4 decades of being in the trenches in Washington, D.C. with an emphasis on trade associations. Now, transitioned into motorsports sponsorships, bridging the gap. I was once a sponsor of a race car, and now I'm facilitating the conversation between teams and companies. And I'm going to tell you exactly why I think sponsorship deals fail, and I've failed a lot, what you can do differently based on my experiences, and where you're going to find some success. Here's the thing that's going to separate you from all the other race teams and all the other sponsorship pitchers and all the other business owners trying to grow their businesses. You can go to every conference, listen to the 1,000 podcasts, hire the best coaches, pay for the most expensive masterminds, but if you don't do the work, if you don't generate enough activity, none of that's going to matter. Be the smartest guy in the room that doesn't make things happen because there's not enough action. Working, engaging, sending proposals, creating content, responding to comments on social, encouraging people, prospecting intentionally. Because what I learned after 4 decades in business, the harder I worked on those things, the luckier I would get. That's the truth that's never failed me. The more action and energy I generate, the more business that happens. So let me hit you with some numbers that are going to wake you up as we get started. More than 50% of businesses lose money. The average business owner makes less than $50,000 a year. Well, that's barely surviving. So no wonder new entrepreneurs wonder if the allure of independence is worth it after only a few months. In motorsports, it's even more brutal. You know how many race teams that existed 10 years ago that no longer compete? How many promising drivers had to hang their helmets up because the money ran out? Talent is wonderful, having the fastest car, the best driver, a fantastic team. But at one time during the life of the driver's career or the race team's evolution, it came down to one thing: cash flow. More cash from more sponsors generated faster so they could remain competitive and relevant in the sport. Think about the race team that no longer exists. Many of them have the same story. They ran out of money, or the person writing the checks got tired of funding the losses and eventually tapped out. So as the business leader or the sponsorship lead, you have one job: generate cash faster than you burn it. So let's talk about the formula. I think about 3 components: more cash, more sponsors, more speed. So let's break it down. More cash. Every conversation you have can be moving forward. And if it isn't moving forward, you have my permission to sort that prospect out until it does move forward or the time is better for them. You can do that with professionalism and enthusiasm and be kind and set yourself up for the next deal or the next time period that it might work. But the urgency and the speed is important. My goal is to optimize the time I spend with prospects that are moving forward and getting ready to do the deal, which gets me to the second step, which is more sponsors. Here's where we make a mistake. We think that we need the perfect sponsor that fits the exact demographic, and we eliminate people before we ever talk to them. That's the wrong approach. If my sponsorship flow and communication is light, I guarantee you I'm not going to have the volume that I need to close enough deals. You need to be talking to more companies, more decision makers, and more CEOs. And I can encourage you to communicate with as many companies as possible and let them opt out, say no for themselves. I don't say no for them. And then I get faster. I take too long to get the proposals out. We overthink the presentation. We wait for the perfect time to get back in touch with the prospect, with their deal. The best time to communicate with a prospect is right now. Speed is your advantage because you're flooding the zone with great information, content, and opportunities all the time. After your initial conversation, the air is actually leaking out of the balloon. Or every day the proposal is not in their hands, it's a day that they can't make a decision. They can't be discussing it within their organization. It's a time that their budget is being allocated somewhere else or another project is taking the priority. So I challenge you to analyze the company that's watching your content, following your social, opening your emails, call them now. Have an initial conversation. Get a proposal out. I don't wait for them to call me. Nobody calls me. I don't wait for the right time. I engage with them. So that's the key. More cash, more sponsors, faster. Now, let me give you another perspective. If you're coming at the game with the energy and velocity and volume that we talked about, I'm going to provide a game changer for you. While many race teams or business development executives approach sponsorship conversations talking about what they need, we need your support. We need your funding for our race program. We need new partners to help us get to the next level. They don't care. Your prospects don't care about that. It is the wrong approach. Successful sponsorship conversations happen when you speak to where they are about what's important to them and not your goals, their goals. So, what are they looking for? Let me paint a picture with a different narrative. Hello, sponsor. We're going to give you venues that you can entertain and have real clients and prospects in an environment that builds relationships and closes deals because it's a different environment than anyone else can offer. I dream about your brand being in front of millions, not just at the track, but across tens of millions of people watching on broadcast. I dream about your brand amplification on social media. Think about what we're going to do with you. We're going to associate your brand with the race series, the teams, and the drivers. They're all going to be amplifying your company. You're going to receive 18-wheeler trucks traveling the nation with your logo visible to thousands of people every single day. You want some lifestyle branding too? We're going to build it for you. Apparel with your company brand that people will actually want to wear because they want to look cool. Your company is going to be differentiated by this program. You're going to break out of this industry. You're going to look different than everybody else because of all those things that we've done together. That's what I want to tell marketers, not about we need your support. There are race teams all over the country that can deliver exactly this if you position it the right way. So, what's it look like in practice? Here's your homework. First, communicate. You need to be communicating about your team all the time, every day. Social media, email newsletters, phone calls, face-to-face meetings. Bang, bang, bang. Second, a little bit of analysis. Look at who's consuming your content. Who's opening your emails? Who's following your social? These are the prospects. Call them directly, fast. And that's the third thing is speed. When you identify the prospect, how fast can you have a conversation and turn around a proposal? If it takes you more than a couple days, 48 hours, to get a sponsorship proposal customized in their hands, you're going to be losing deals and energy on those deals. Remember, it's not about the perfect pitch. It's about more conversations faster with more prospects addressing their goals. It's a formula that works. I've been using it for a long time. More cash from more sponsors faster in their language. Hey, I hope this is helpful to you. It's been a delight being back with you on the Push to Pass podcast. And I cannot wait to speak until next week. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. If you would like to sponsor Push to Pass, send an email to jp@jpmurray.com. Follow JP on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. His website is jpmurray.com. Until next time, push yourself to pass the competition. Thanks for listening.